Hey guys, you know, life sometimes is really funny, funnier than you would imagine. In the last video, I was talking about different problems you may experience when breeding Phyllium, and the next day after I uploaded that video, I had like eight uh, hatches of stick insect, of leaf insect nymphs. So yeah, you know, it was of course really strange, and you know the funniest thing about all of this is that I'm experiencing the same problems that I talked about in that video. Well, I'm experiencing those problems right now. I normally like write in a notebook or somewhere in my phone the dates that when I I add eggs to an incubator. Well, I write the date that I added those eggs to the incubator and the approximate date that I think is uh, when I think they are going to hatch, basically. So I can have certain like control over that, and I can prepare for the hatchings of the nymphs of the eggs. I did that um, with my Phyllium X, um, but I don't know what happened. I think maybe I didn't consider the month and the month and a half that they took to arrive to here to Mexico. Not so long ago, the world was even crazier than it is now because of the coronavirus and all of that, and of course, uh, every institution or every like yeah big how do you say empresa, even every brand, or yeah, like every company, or everyone to be more general and to be more precise, of course. uh, yeah, everyone had like a problems with time, with the dates that were expected, with the expected date. Of course, everything took longer to arrive or to be sent. So yeah, it was it was a mess, and this ex took like 1 month and a half to arrive here to Mexico. So yeah, it was a long time, and I didn't consider that. Just considered the date that I added to the incubator, because normally, when the eggs are traveling, and all of that, the plane or whatever, because the package, the parcel where they are in, is like really like a in movement. I don't know how to explain that, but like uh, it is constantly yeah, moving, or yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but I think you understand me. Because that happens, usually the eggs take a little longer to hatch. um, that's like something that happens, something that has happened to me in the past, so I suppose it was going to be the same. But apparently, I was wrong, or well, I was wrong. I definitely was wrong, and the eggs hatched exactly 1 month earlier than the day that I expected. So I was not prepared. In fact, that food that you see over there, that those rose leaves, um, were part of an emergency. I don't know how to call it, of of an emergency action, or yeah, whatever. You can see there's a plant that I had to buy, um, that I bought to at least have some food for my nymphs. I don't usually buy my plants. I don't usually buy anything, any of the plants that I use to feed my insects. I normally just look for the plants in parks or in the street or on the streets or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, I had to buy those plants to, you know, to have some food for them. And well, that's also that's where the problem is, because I didn't know that well, yeah, I didn't know if that plant, if that rose uh, was clean. Sometimes they use chemical pesticides, that go into the soil or mix with the soil, and that's really difficult or almost impossible to get rid of. Because sometimes when the pesticides, or when they have certain, like chemical compounds spread over the leaves, well, that's there's a solution to that. You can wash with water the plants like the best you can, and then, well, there's there's less possibility of those leaves to still be contaminated with the chemicals. But with the other thing, with the chemicals mixed with the soil, well, that's a problem, right? You can't really do anything about it. So I had to take the risk. I bought it, and yeah, apparently it is clean. It is good. Doesn't have any chemicals. You can see that there's also some sticky insects there. They are helping. That's also a trick that some many fast meat breeders use when they have nymphs, like leaf insect nymphs that are really tiny and sometimes really, like, we kind of weak. Um, the they we add, or they and or we add some stick insects. So the stick insects that don't have trouble chewing on the plants, on the leaves, they like allow the nymphs, the smaller nymphs, to be able, yeah, to chew without much problem. Yeah, the borders of the leaves that sometimes are a little bit hard, or like yeah, like hard, or like I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, sometimes that happens. So this is like also a technique that you can do when you have a stick leaf insect, or leaf insect nymphs, or um, phasmid nymphs that are really, really tiny and weak. Now, where's the problem? Like, you could say, well, you have the food inside the cage, so what's the problem? Well, like I told you in the last video, um, if you go for my tip, there's like, yeah, there's like two solutions that I talked about in the last video. The first one was the one that I applied, that is uh, put a lot of food inside the cage, so the nymphs don't have much option to go. Like they end up running over the plants, and by doing that, well, they kind of like after some time, they realize that that's food, and they start to eat. And the other option was the one that proposed this expert, on this thing on fast meat breeding, that is putting them in a bigger container, in a really big container, or fluxarium or whatever, and place just like the food in the middle of that big terrarium. So when you put or you place the nymphs on the leaves, they can't reach the sides of the fluxarium or the terrarium, and they don't have much option to 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 do anything, but start to eat. But I talked about the problems of that solution or the problems of that tip. But the thing is that I can't do what I usually do, what I normally do with my Phyllium nymphs. As you can see, well, there's not like a lot of food or a lot of plants inside the cage, and I don't want to cut all of the of the leaves or the branches of the plant, because I want to plant that thing, to plant that rose and use it later as to have certain reserves of foods of yeah, food for my insects. You can see the nymphs are doing what they do best. That is running all over the cage, running like crazy, and as you can see, there are a lot of nymphs running and running and running, and yeah, that's a problem, right? Now, I'm not that worried. I mean, I should be more worried about it. But I've seen, as you can see, there's an imp that is trying to chew on that leaf. I don't know if you can see it, but there's one imp trying to chew on the leaf. So yeah, there are as the same as that nymph that you just saw. I've seen a lot of my nymphs, yeah, running all around all the cage, but eventually they reach those uh, spots where the plants are touching the sides of the terrarium, and they end up running around or over the plants, and yeah, that happens what you just saw with that nymph that they are trying or starting to feed. um, so yeah, I'm not that worried about it because of that. So yeah, I still don't want you know uh, to give up on other options. I asked my aunt that lives near a guava tree to send me some leaves, to send me some food, send me some branches. But she understood that I wanted like literally individual leaves, so she sent me a bunch of leaves, like this one, like this that I have here. So yeah, this doesn't like do too much for my problem, or this doesn't really help. So yeah, I still don't have like more food to put inside. But I think that tomorrow I will be, yeah, tomorrow I will be going to my aunt's house, so I can, well, I'm going for other reasons, but I will also cut some branches, some big guava branches, so I can place them inside the cage, and like they don't have much option but to eat. I also experienced some problems with this cage, because as you can see, the stick insect nymphs that I have here are quite big or quite large already. Even when they are freshly hatched nymphs, they are not that small. The thing is that, as you can see, um, here in the border of the cage, there's a gap between the door, or this door and the borders. And yeah, as you can see, you can see it. It's kind of like wide. So well, at first I was aware of this, but I thought, well, I don't think the nymphs are going to try to escape from here, right? I mean, what are the possibilities that they find this gap? And oh boy, I was wrong again. I saw like two or three nymphs um, trying to get out from here, and in fact, I saw one that was already walking um, over here. So yeah, I had to think about a different solution, because I noticed that fortunately I noticed that before anything catastrophic happened. So like, since I have all of this individual leaves, I thought, well, why not using them as like, I don't know how to call it, how to call them in English. I don't know how to call them in Spanish, but yeah, like I'm using them to kind of close the gap uh, of the cage where they are trying to escape. So yeah, I do that. I place them or like this um, yesterday. So yeah, they couldn't escape, and I counted them, and they are still 10 nymphs. That I was the number that I had yesterday. Um, so yeah, that's what I did, and that's the current situation. Um, so yeah, that's the thing, and that's what I wanted to share with you. Um, and yeah, that's all for today's video. Thank you for watching, and if you have any comments or want to ask me something, you can write them on the comment section. So see you guys.